You've probably heard the terms commercial bank and investment bank thrown around. I mean, they both have bank in the name, right? But trust me, they operate in completely different worlds. Today, we're going to break down what really separates your neighborhood bank from the titans of global finance. All right, let's start with something you know. You need a safe place to keep your salary, or maybe you're finally ready to get a loan for that dream house. Where do you go? You head straight to a commercial bank, like the ones you see on every corner. Okay, but now let's scale that up, way up. Imagine a massive company needs to raise thousands of crores to expand its business. Yeah, they're not just walking into their local branch for that, are they? This is where the world of finance splits in two, and it becomes super clear. So first up, let's talk about the world we're all familiar with, the commercial bank. This is all about finance for everyday life. At its core, a commercial bank is pretty simple. They are the backbone of our day-to-day economy. They serve just about everyone, you, me, the local coffee shop. Their main job, they take our deposits and they give out loans. They basically keep the money flowing on Main Street. So how do they actually make money from all this? Well, it's a pretty straightforward model. Think of it this way. You deposit your savings and the bank pays you a little bit of interest for it. Then it takes a big chunk of that money and loans it out to someone else, but at a higher interest rate. That gap, that little difference, is called the interest spread, and that's their main profit engine. And the services they offer? Well, they're exactly what you'd expect for everyday life. We're talking about all the essentials: savings and current accounts, personal loans, home loans, credit cards, all the tools we use to manage our personal financial worlds. Okay, time to shift gears. We're leaving Main Street and heading to the world of skyscrapers, multi-billion-dollar deals, and some seriously high-stakes finance. Welcome to the world of the investment bank. Now, pay attention to a key word here: advisory. See, unlike commercial banks that are all about deposits and loans, investment banks are more like financial masterminds, the strategic advisors for the biggest players in the game. So, who are these big players? We're talking huge corporations, entire governments that need funding for massive projects, and giant investment funds. They don't take deposits from you and me. Their client list is, well, let's just say it's very exclusive. So what does an investment bank actually do? Let's take a huge one, a company's initial public offering, or IPO. The investment bank is basically the expert guide for this incredibly complex journey. They figure out what the company's worth to set a share price, they find big-time investors to buy up the shares, that's called underwriting, and then they manage the whole chaotic launch onto the public stock market. All right, so we've seen both sides of the coin. Now let's put them head-to-head to make the differences totally 100% clear. Let's just break it down. Look at the clients. Commercial banks serve people like us and small businesses. Investment banks, they're working with massive corporations and governments. And their jobs are totally different. One accepts deposits and gives loans. The other advises on giant deals and raises capital. And that's reflected in how they get paid. Commercial banks make money on that interest spread we talked about, while investment banks earn massive commissions and advisory fees on their deals. So if you only remember two things from all of this, let it be these next 2 points. It's the simplest way to think about it. First, commercial banks are all about the money for everyday people and businesses. Plain and simple. And second, investment banks, they handle the money for big companies and those massive financial deals that you read about in the news. Two completely different worlds, but you know what? Both are absolutely essential to how our financial system works. So there you have it, the day-to-day finance that we all use versus the deal of a lifetime finance that moves entire markets. One shapes our personal lives, the other shapes entire economies. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? Which one actually has more power to shape the world we live in? Something to think about.